either.
No, I don't, but I'm just gonna.
Okay, so I'll just go over our first, our only loan request for today is for Shaboom's Ice Cream. We have Amy here, so the request is for $40,000, and then I will let her give a little background if you want to just tell everyone.
Okay, so it all started way back when we were kids. Bill and I used to go to Puff's Ice Cream in Watertown, right on Washington Street. And it was kind of an icon back then. And there's no ice cream places anymore out by us, except for, I guess, Stewart's, but I wouldn't really call that a full ice cream store. So our vision was to make a 50s style ice cream parlor and have all 50s memorabilia, old pictures, things like that. We wanted to make a nice environment for a lot of the younger people as well in Watertown. There's not a lot of places on the south side for kids to go. So we thought it would really be a very good complement to the plaza. So we are renting a place right next door to Chrissy Beans.
Okay.
And I mean, the traffic is unbelievable there. Chrissy Beans is doing phenomenal. So our goal is to open by February 14th. We were going to have ice cream, we'll have hard and soft ice creams and custards, and of course we'll have, what kind of ice cream for the gluten-free? No, not, yes.
Well, that and fat-free and all the
Sugar-free,
brands
things
go
like that,
around.
so it's going to accommodate everybody.
Lactose free.
Pardon?
Lactose free.
Of course,
Yes,
gotta have
lactose free,
that.
that's what I was trying to think of, but I couldn't think of it. So we want to accommodate everybody. We also want to incorporate bubble teas at some point because bubble teas are very, very popular. The kids and adults all love bubble teas. There's really not any place to get them around here. I think there is one place in the mall, and there used to be a place downtown, but they have since moved to Fort Drive, I believe.
Yes.
So we've got a great venue right across the street from the high school. The plaza right there is busy. It's got Piggly Wiggly, it's got Chrissy Beans, it's got a lot of I think it was like a Christmas shop. It was downtown Judy Brown's or something like that. So there's a lot of little stores, boutique stores right there. So we thought it'd be a really good complement to move into that awesome space. So that's our goal. So far, and I've got some pictures to show you, we've done a lot of work in there, a lot of renovations. So the spot used to be Paisanos, and they had pizza there. Yes. So we took a blank canvas. I'll start sending these pictures around. And then we kind of added just a little bit of, we wanted to make the consumers in that area aware that something was going on, something was going to be going in there. So we put our Shaboom sign in. And you can't really see it from the picture, but it says coming soon. And then we kind of block the windows out to kind of keep it a surprise for people. We put in new floors. We want to make it look like an ice cream parlor, bright colors, things like that. We have 2 bathrooms that were renovated. We bought, these cabinets are over 100 years old. They're antique. We bought them to go along with our theme. And we're going to put old-fashioned candies in there as well. So we're going to do ice cream, candies, and bubble teas.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was there flooring in there?
No.
You never put that?
No, you see the first picture? It was like,
I was like wondering if, I couldn't tell if it was
no,
color or not.
that place was, it was not in good shape.
Okay.
It was not good
Just
shape.
an empty shell when you guys got it, okay.
Yes. So we, Bill had put in electrical and plumbing. So we did like a lot of electrical and plumbing. So we revamped the whole place. And we've got about, how much would you say, Bill? About 26,000 into it?
Yeah.
So we put in our own money of about 26,000 to get going. And we're looking for some help for the rest of it. To get the machinery and things like that.
I was in the plaza over the weekend and I think you were leaving, Bill, and so.
Did you look at
it? The pictures don't do it justice. It looks very bright and cheery.
I ordered
Yeah.
some lights, the old-fashioned vintage lights for when you first walk in. The whole idea is when you walk into the place, it's like you step back into the 50s.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
the kids won't appreciate
That was the
that.
impression I got
Yeah.
immediately. I was like, oh, very
It'll be
cool.
nice.
Yeah, it will be nice.
So we're really excited about it. I think it's gonna do very well. I mean, who doesn't like ice cream? From little babies up to 100 years old. And it just reminds me, that when I was there with Bill one day, this really old man came in and he says, "Are you open yet?" And we're like, no. But we have people coming in constantly asking us if we're open yet. So I think it's, you know, there's a lot of buzz going around. The kids all from the high school, they know that that's gonna be going in and, yeah.
Well, for some of that, for the ice cream and that tea stuff, I would imagine that's a captive market for you. with
It
those
will
guys,
be.
those-
I can't think of one teenager that doesn't love bubble teas. We went out to dinner, we went to hibachi with the family one night, and my grandchildren, they each had like 2 bubble teas. And they're not cheap, they're like $7.50, $8. And all they really are is a powder mix, and you buy, it's the tapiocas, or you can cook your own tapiocas, and that's what's in the bottom. So there's a really big markup on that and ice cream.
Full of sugar, right?
Full of sugar,
Give them
gotta
to the
sugar
kids
them
and
up.
send them home with their parents.
Now, they're also.
I don't love them, actually. I can survive on $10 drinks. Oh, you, God, I mentioned this last time.
I was gonna say, we had this discussion, like, here's another place for your kids to go.
I know.
You
And
should
then-
negotiate a, what do you call those frequent flyer cards? You can buy 5 and get 1 or something.
So some of the events that we thought we would have, first of all, in the back room, we are going to incorporate that and to make a big party room. So if parents want to have birthday parties for their kids, you can come and mess up our room and leave, you know what I mean? So we were gonna do like ice cream balloons, things like that. We haven't got that 100% yet, but we're working on that. So that's gonna be in the future. We just wanna get open and get going with the ice cream and bubble teas.
And probably once a month or maybe even more frequent, I'm gonna have cruise-ins. So the old cars can park facing Washington Street. So I'm gonna have those. There's a band in Dexter, plays all 50s music, 50s and 60s. So I'll have them probably periodically, probably at least for the grand opening, you know, so only 4-piece. So all that kind of stuff will be going on. And then dress up 50s day. Amy and I have an old picture of us when we were in high school dressing up in the 50s. We don't know who the person is standing next to us, but at least we got it. So, and I'm also gonna have pictures all the way around the city of Watertown back in
Yeah.
something like these pictures right here.
Yes,
And I have
actually a
bunch
lot
of
like
those.
those pictures right there that Joy had sent us.
And of course Elvis figurines and stuff like that. I'm running out of space already.
And then the good thing with Bill and I, Bill's gonna be managing, I'm working at Miracle Air part-time. They bought my business, so I'm over there kind of building up their business for them. I've got, you know, extensive knowledge in business. I've run, you know, my own business for 8 years very successfully, sold to a major company that's known across the United States. And then Bill has.
Well, my first adventure was the Brown Shanty. The elderly people might know the Brown Shanty. It was on Mill Street and I was 24 years old, and then I just went from there.
And he had a chicken wing place in Oregon, and what else did you do?
Waterbed store. I was born and raised in Watertown, left when I was 30, moved out to Oregon for another 30, and then came back to the great Northeast. My son and grandkids live here, and here I am freezing. Who opens up ice cream in the middle of the winter? In Watertown, New York? I do. So next year we'll probably close down from, say, January 1st till middle of February,
Yeah.
and go somewhere warm, like the snowbirds.
Did you say you have an ice cream vendor?
Yes.
Hershey.
Hershey's? I don't know, just like the quality of the ice cream makes so much difference now.
Yeah.
Yeah. We contacted a lot of different ice cream places, and nobody really got back to us, or they wanted us to buy into a franchise.
Okay.
And we don't want, that's way too much money. We can do it on our own for way less money. I just don't want to get involved with a franchise. Not at our age, you know, I want to make it as simple as possible.
I wonder what happened to the puffs.
They closed in the was it the
Well, that was a
90s,
while
Bill?
ago.
Yeah.
Well, no, I just
What
wonder,
about the stuff that was in there?
well, I remember, you mean do you remember the plaster cone? I mean, that thing is iconic.
Yeah, that's
as far
right,
as
yeah.
far as my childhood goes.
Yeah.
I remember how cold it was every time you went in there.
Yeah.
It's like the soup Nazi on Seinfeld.
Yeah,
And I can still see the lady behind the counter. You just moved.
You moved down the counter,
And
yeah.
the water fountain was right on the right-hand side as we're leaving.
yeah.
You better only take a couple sips and then go.
But the one good thing about our place is that you'll have indoor seating, so even in the cold weather or in the rain,
could sit
you
in
can
case.
come in and sit down
Yeah.
and have your ice cream or milkshake or bubble tea or whatever, you know, and just kind of hang out a little bit. We'd like to get some music, oh, go ahead,
Sorry.
Bill.
I was gonna do gourmet coffee too in the very beginning, but being next door to Chrissy Beans, I don't wanna step in
Yeah.
anybody's.
I
toes.
saw that somewhere about gourmet, and
Yeah,
I wondered about
we're
that.
not doing
yeah.
gourmet coffees at all. In fact, I was always the one that was like, I was on the fence with coffee and ice cream. I just didn't think it made a good match together. So that's why I woke up in the middle of the night one day and I'm like, Bill, bubble teas. And I just, you know, it happened to come into my brain and that would be great with ice cream.
Well, you might think about, if they're right next door to you, I think if I remember the lay of the plaza, it's the very next door.
Yes,
It's
Yeah.
the coffee shop, Chrissy Beans.
yes.
You might talk to them about a scoop of vanilla ice cream in their espresso.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's a great
yeah.
idea.
Yeah,
Just a thought.
Just
no, that's a great idea.
And then the liquor store's right next door.
Yeah, I didn't want to go there. I think these are public events, so I didn't want to go there, Bill, but.
They already wanna put a little door in there so they can just let me hand them ice cream, so.
Well, a little thing of schnapps and that coffee with that ice cream, and you've got a real party up there in that plaza again.
That's right.
Yeah. But, do you, so you've signed a lease then, you guys are obviously
Yes,
working.
we have a lease. Do you have the copy of it still? I had brought a copy. It's like,
I believe we.
we're paying, right now, we're paying $1,000 a month, which I think
I
is
think
excellent.
It's a
Right.
it's a 5-year lease,
5 year, okay.
yeah. And then I'll go to $1,250 and then $1,500, and then we renegotiate at the end toward the end of the 5 years. By then, I hope I have my grandkids working there and they wanna maybe take it over, or who knows what I'll do
Yeah, we
at
kind
that
of
point.
want to make it a family
Yeah,
thing, so.
good.
We're gonna name some of the ice cream after the grandkids' names, you know, like the Logan or the Charlotte or something, just make it family oriented like that.
Fun.
So your equipment to go in, and you're estimating at about 60,000, or is that? or-
Yeah, I have 2 soft serve ice cream machines that I'm gonna be getting. I'm also buying a jukebox, and I'm gonna buy some Coca-Cola memorabilia. And that adds up because the Coke stuff, they really want a lot of money for it, because they can. But I've been shopping around for 2 or 3 months for all that stuff. So I do have my eyes on pretty much what I wanna get, and that'll probably total around 12 maybe, no, it depends. Because when I talk to these folks, if they don't sell it right away at their high dollar, then they're ready to get rid of it for the more reasonable prices, so I've talked to a lot of people. Problem is, a lot of it's a couple, 3 hours away. There are some in Syracuse, but, so I'm pretty much landed on those 3 pieces that I wanna get, except for the ice cream, and I'm gonna lease those. There is a couple around here, but I don't wanna spend $15,000.
The soft serve machine?
Yeah.
So you're gonna lease the soft
Yeah, I'm
serve?
gonna lease those. In this way, if something goes wrong with them, of course, they can come and fix them if they're not sick or if they're out of town or whatever. In theory, they'll come and fix whatever I need fixed. And so that'll work out real well.
Yeah, I think that'll be better. So the cost of buying them is way up there, and Bill had actually found a used, how much
There's
were
a
the?
couple of used ones, you guys might know Mike. He had an ice cream place across from Fairgrounds. He has a mattress place.
Oh, yeah.
He used
Mike
to
came
have,
out.
yeah, he used to have an ice cream place there. He has 4 machines, I don't need 4. And he's trying to talk me into 4, but I don't need 4. But he does have 2 that he said he's only used for a year, but they're 10 years old, so I'm a little confused on that, still talking to him about it. And he wants $12.5 for those 2. One has 3 handles, chocolate, vanilla, and a mix, or whatever you wanna put. And the other one's just a regular 1-handle one. And $12.5 is what he wants for those 2. And he said if they broke, he'd come and fix them. I don't like the promises that some of the people say. And in all intention, he probably would wanna come and do it, but he's busy too, and so I'm feeling that the best route to go is to lease them. Something happens, they can come and fix them, and if they can't fix them, then they replace them.
Right.
Does the Flavor Burst take a special machine?
Yeah, the Flavor Burst, there is one kind that, I think up on State Street, the lady has one up there. I'm not sure if she pours it on there, but there are machines that'll make, if you push like strawberry.
They're not, I'm an ice cream connoisseur. They're not doing the proper Flavor Burst at Cold Rush, but they are doing a flavored soft. You know who's got a proper Flavor Burst is the one out on Route 3.
Yeah,
So a Flavor Burst is just a rim of the flavor around it, so I figured it was a special machine.
Well,
That's
this-
pretty popular, and you can really
Yeah, I know.
upcharge for
I
that.
know. And the company also that I'm looking at in Syracuse, they have one that makes 8 different flavors in the machine.
Oh, wow.
That machine's $35,000.
Oh, ouch,
So,
yeah.
with the burst that you're talking about, I can probably get that as well, and it'll do all kinds of flavors, 20-some flavors.
Mhm.
In a perfect world, that one machine that does 8 or 9 different flavors, it's actual 8 or 9 different flavors. So I'm not gonna go that route unless I can get a killer deal on a lease on it. But, I'll probably do the burst that you're talking about. I don't wanna stand there and put the different kinds.
Yeah, and
but
it's
they
not
do
as
have-
good.
Right.
It's just not as good. The Flavor Burst is, you're nodding, you know about Flavor Burst, right? It's good. I think you pay like 75 cents extra for that little bit of flavor on the cone.
I
It
wouldn't
looks
do that.
fancy.
I would probably just adjust it in the price of it. I hate to say to somebody, well, if you want strawberry, it's 85 cents more or 50 cents more. I don't wanna do that, so I'll put it in the price somewhere.
So when we did the business plan, we actually put in the actual figures for the ice cream machines, and we're thinking about leasing them now. And we have to go down there, he's going down to Syracuse either today or tomorrow to kind of finalize those prices, because we're still up in the air about them. We don't know if it makes more sense to lease to buy or to buy outright, depending on, you know, how much they charge interest and things like that, so we have to weigh it out.
Sure.
I headed there yesterday, but that snowstorm in Mansville, so I'm not going to Syracuse today. So just check her out.
Yeah, that's, explore what they have, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I think that we need to, I just don't wanna, the machines are very, very expensive, so that's like the worst scenario that we put on. And I don't wanna buy used ice cream machines, I just, something that old, that hasn't been used in so long, I don't wanna take that chance.
And when mine's, his are very nice and they're spotless, but you got the rubber gaskets in there and everything else. If you let them sit for a while, they'll harden up and they'll crack and you have to replace them.
Yeah.
So with the lease, which I'm pretty much leaning that way, they'll have all the supplies and I'll have to pay anything extra and they just maintain them as they go. Of course, they're gonna have to clean them every couple of days, which is no big deal. It's just a maintenance thing that you have to do on them, so.
You raise a good point about maintenance with the older machines, and maybe the opportunity to get the parts might be a challenge too.
Exactly.
They're usually workhorses though, I mean,
Yeah.
those types of machines last a long, long time.
Do you guys remember the ice cream place where the mall used to be?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Big white barn.
Yeah.
Was that Walton's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
it,
Peter is
that's
our
it.
attorney, and he said that little ice cream place that was there 4 years, put him through college,
Well.
so, yeah. Before the mall.
Yeah.
That was back when we had like roller skating rinks and cool things.
I know.
Yes, yeah,
Ice
like I
skating
said, there's really nothing for kids to do anymore, and it's really sad, because when we grew up, there was a ton of things going on.
We need a roller skating
We
rink.
do.
Find somebody that.
And that wasn't in the best part of town either.
No, that wasn't.
Hey, leave the north side alone.
We still went.
Yeah, we did, we absolutely did, but yeah.
We didn't know it was the bad side of town. We didn't
No,
care about that.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Wasn't really the bad side of town, there
Oh,
was just
no,
a
you
lot
can't
of
backtrack now. I mean.
people, a lot of undesirables would hang out, I mean, we should say.
I love the north side.
It's only
alone.
steps from here.
Yes, actually, it is only steps from here.
Listen, my dad had Grant Drugs on the Square for many years. And I started working there when I was 15 years old, and you see a lot of stuff that you don't want to see. And plus, it was like almost right next to the bar that was called Magoo's. So back then, we were open till 10 o'clock at night. I saw things I shouldn't have seen at 16 years old downtown.
We have the phone booth from in there too, so I'm gonna clean that up and put it
Yeah,
in.
I have the old phone
Oh, do you
book
from
Oh,
inside?
nice.
from
Yeah.
Grant Drugs,
Yeah.
yes.
That's
Wow,
cool,
that's neat.
very
That's
cool.
nostalgic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like, everybody would come into the drugstore, use that, and so it was kind of iconic with the drugstore. So when
Yeah.
my dad sold the store, I said, I'm taking that. So I took it, and then Mr. Nugent, do you remember the Nugents? He worked for the telephone company.
I married one.
Did you?
Yeah.
So Mr. Nugent called me up, he said, Amy, where's that phone booth? I said, at my house. He says, well, I have to come and get the phone from it anyway, so he took the phone.
Yeah. They threw those in the dumpster too. They had to take them and then document them and throw them in the dumpster. It's such a weird thing.
Oh.
Yeah, kind of sad.
I'm looking for
Actually,
one.
we talked about that recently.
I'm looking for one now, and the lowest I saw was $3.50.
Yeah, it's a fine, but yeah.
That surprised me.
And that was dirty and scratched
Yeah.
up.
Right, because the phone booths are worth a lot more money if they have the original phones in them.
Sure.
But we have the phone booth, so nobody's gonna go in there and use, maybe we can put a video game in there.
There's no more phone booth use anymore. The phone's really all the time.
I know.
Back then, we had to run to those booths.
You know, they call Santa Claus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good, this sounds exciting. I mean, I think, you know, from a location standpoint, you make a good point that that portion of town is void of this type of offering. So I think you fill a need out there.
And then, another thing we thought about doing is when we first open up, we wanna get those, you know those flags that you get from like Vista Print and stuff, it'll say ice cream, those big flags.
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah.
put, we'll do ice cream and bubble teas or whatever, so that people will know that we're open. The kids across the street will see that we're open, and I think it's really gonna be big. We have a ton of people coming in constantly.
I have a 7-year-old grandson that told me yesterday that you can only work Fridays and Mondays. Okay. And he's 7.
Yeah, that's probably your biggest task when you open an operation like this, is finding staff for it. 'Cause,
Right.
You know, when that school lets out at, I don't know what time anymore,
2:20.
3 o'clock, I don't know if you need to hang a flag or not. If they know you got stuff over there, they'll be there.
Yeah, they will. I know they will. We're gonna, do a lot of advertising on Facebook. Hershey gives us a lot, helps us with advertising as well. I mean, you know how expensive advertising is. I mean, for me, I advertise mostly through television commercials for my hearing business. And it gets expensive. We were paying over probably close to $2,000 a month. That website, the whole bit, a lot of money. So I think that the location is gonna help us immensely, not to have to really market the place as much
Yeah.
as,
Well, again, with social media today, you probably
Yeah.
can do a lot of things.
And that's not expensive to
No.
to boost posts on
Right.
Facebook.
yes, I had a Facebook page for Hearing Solutions as well, and we did a lot of Google ads and things like that. So, yeah, I think it'll work out fine, because everybody shares everything now. You know, if it's something new, everybody shares it, so.
So I guess as chair, does anybody have any further questions?
And if you weren't chair, you wouldn't ask.
Yeah, I would ask that question. So are we gonna go into executive session to discuss? Are we gonna vote on sending it to the board? Does anybody have any further thoughts?
I'm good to take it into committee and discuss it.
Okay.
You guys good with any more questions?
No? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much for your
Presentation,
time.
yeah.
It's nice to meet
Yeah. Love it.
everybody.
I'm sure, I don't know if Craig will have questions for you.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, I think
We're gonna go into a session now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
but not me.
Not you,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so
So
we're gonna go.
I'll probably follow you.
All right, so I'm good to go
You're
then?
good to go.
Okay.
Thanks, Amy.
Thank
Good
you
to see
guys.
you.
Good to see you.
You bet, yeah. So
Thank
good
you
to
for
see you.
coming in.
Yes, thank you.
Well, it
You
worked
still
out
on
really
our side?
good for me because
My
I
mom
had an
is.
appointment
Where's
this
she
morning and I
behind
got my
Starbucks
appointments
school.
mixed up. The one
Put it back in. There you go.
So we are streaming public
Yeah.
right now? So we're not gonna discuss any personal financial information?
We can still, I say we typically do.
Up to you guys.
I mean, we wouldn't.
Yeah, we wouldn't disclose financial
Right, yeah,
information.
right. So if you wanna talk about anything, but yeah, we
You'd
can
have
look
to
go
go
into
on.
I
an
guess you
executive.
have to, I mean, it comes down to, you know, amongst other things, but, you know, the outstanding credit score remain, you know.
So should we go into an executive session?
That's why, that's the only piece that I really saw that could be potentially sensitive. Although, I mean, you know, I'm sure nobody would be ashamed of.
Well, I'll make a motion to go into executive
Okay.
session.
Yeah.
To discuss personnel.
Personal financial.
Second.
Okay.
Alright, so I need-
Yeah.
All right, so we're now at
9:04.
9:04.
Alrighty. I guess we didn't vote yet.
No, we vote now.
Yeah,
Vote now, yeah.
That's why I wanted to catch it while we were, before we voted.
Okay, motion to recommend this to the full board.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
None.
It passes.
We'll take it up to the board. While we're all here together on the committee side, one just piece of business that was not here, I would suggest maybe going forward when we do this is, for these types of small requests, if they have more of a detailed business plan that they could share with the full committee as we look to these to recommend them, I think a lot of the questions we just kind of discussed would kind of be clarified in something like that.
Yeah.
So which we do have.
What are you asking?
No, we have her.
Do you have a, like an application? I'm sure. I mean, should we just share the application?
We just
Is there
have to-
sensitive information? I don't know what's on the application to know if it's, I guess I would say, look at the application and remove any sensitive information from it, because this is gonna be a public forum, unless we go into executive, which we can, but in the public forum, we would wanna have something that could be shared publicly as well, but would be beneficial to the committee.
Yeah, because we get, an application, we get the financials, which are usually separate, then we get the business plan. That's all stuff we have to
So are
have.
you saying to put that in the loan review packet and the board packet, or just the loan review packet for the loan committee? And then
Well,
we
that's-
send the,
And then-
How do we do it, Joy? Do we?
Well, this just gets replicated to the
I-
board.
You know, I meant just like how we do it at the IDA. We
you
do
have
this and the
yes,
application, right?
and the application. And I think anything that may, the business plan,
Pertinent.
if it's,
Yeah. I mean, we have a pretty good system, so I mean, I would think that maybe, whatever we do, maybe would be.
The only other suggestion I might make to help you two guys out, you in particular coming new in, is if we get that information, say a week in advance of this meeting, we can then source any potential questions we might have in advance that you can then, I mean, I don't mind having somebody come to the open meeting, but you could
Yeah,
we could identify any particular pertinent questions, and then you could communicate that to whoever the prospective borrower is, and then bring it back to the committee when we're reporting on the committee activity.
yeah, and we have been way more strict about the dates of when things have to be to us than they were before, because I don't like
Yes.
things.
Well,
We try to get
and I'm just
stuff
thinking in fairness to you, I mean, Don
Yeah.
had 25 years of experience with this kind of
Yeah.
stuff, right? And we're working with you in an effort to help enhance and develop that knowledge too. So I'm just thinking it might be beneficial if we had some dialogue in between us just getting together at the table with the prospective borrower.
No, I agree.
so I'm confused, I wanna make sure that are you saying when we send the packet to you the week before the meeting, you want the extra items in there? Or do you want them sent separately? Like that's-
Oh, I don't care
that's
how
what-
they come to me, if they come
Okay,
together or
so
separate.
as a packet-
But I guess
I
what
just
it
wanna
is
know
that we do
anyway.
receive, to me,
Right.
is the big question. I would say the application and the business plan, and maybe withhold the personal financial information just because you wouldn't ever.
Yeah,
want
that we would want to go into executive session
Yeah,
for, right? Because we're not a representative of we're a board member,
Yeah.
right? And for us to see it is typically going to be an open discussion unless we go into executive session to view that type of information, which I would think would be appropriate at that time. But the business plan, just the general business plan stuff, is going to be more helpful for us to help you in the process too, so that when we get here, you kind of brought it up when you mentioned the fact that I wasn't sure if I should ask the question or not. I mean, if we've got a question, we should ask it. And I get the fact that it's sometimes difficult or sensitive when the individuals are sitting here with us. So we should, as a committee, have that opportunity to have that dialogue with you, who then can communicate with them and back, and it doesn't have to be displayed on 360
No, that makes sense.
Wi-Fi or whatever we're doing, whatever we're on up there.
No, I agree.
Yeah, so, because some of these are gonna, you know, if we get into a scenario where they're really sensitive questions that we want, I mean, we'll go into executive, but we can identify that up front and prep everybody to say, hey, we're gonna have to go into executive session because we wanna ask A, B, C, and D.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And we can, I mean, we'll definitely have it to you within a week prior, because I have a deadline of, I tell them 2 weeks ahead of time, right? I believe so, because.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I figured, yeah, a week gives us enough time that we can take a look at it.
We don't like this whole wait to the,
Last
like,
minute.
the day before.
I'm not a last minute paper, so.
Well, and again,
That's how we roll.
right.
I don't like
I don't like
it.
that way, but, all right.
I like
Other than that, I don't know, I was just thinking of that when you mentioned, and, you know, we probably, the last couple were a little clunky, and I'm thinking maybe an easier way to streamline that is have opportunity. And then you're still working on policy review information, right?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit
Okay,
earlier.
good. I'm good.
Motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second?
All in favor?
Hey, don't anybody see anything bad until Joy hits the button.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Some people